What is good, everybody? Today we are back with brand new WWE action figure news for you. Mattel posted up their June gallery of WWE action figure reveals. We're going to be going through each figure and discussing it, telling you all about the information about the figure, what I think about it personally, and just give you all of the information that you're going to need going into these figures being released down the line, and just talking about it, man. So let's get into it today with some pretty good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff here, and we're going to get into all of it, man. So let's bring this up first, because I think this is probably the thing I'm probably most excited about. I'll reassess that at the end, I guess, but today we're looking at the Walmart exclusive WWE Elite 3-pack of John Cena. I'm going to call this the Hustle, Loyalty, Respect Cena 3-pack. This is pretty cool. I do like this, and of course, we did see this back at WrestleMania at the reveals. We saw this at WWE World at the Mattel booth, and we got to see this. Pretty cool, as you can see. On the front of the packaging, it does have, and what I think is really cool is it has John Cena across the top. You get the blue and red colorway on the box, and then you even get the era or the kind of gimmick that kind of he was working with. Not necessarily, but if you look at the bottom, it says Ruthless Aggression below the 02 version, Word Life, below the 04 version there, and then you have the You Can't See Me below the 2015 teal shirt version. So we kind of discussed this a little bit when we, discuss these figures, but we have better images now. We can kind of see everything together, but I really like the packaging. This is most definitely going to be a set that I get probably multiples of. I don't know exactly how many. We're going to discuss that as we get through the pack here, but just kind of breaking down each figure and stuff. I got to have one of these men on card. That's for 100%, but going through here, let's discuss each figure. So I touched on this when we went through the Mattel booth and talked about these reveals, but the version in the open shirt in the red from 2002, that's kind of a 2-in-1 makeshift figure. So he didn't wear that yellow and black gear underneath this. This is not what he looked like. This was right around the time he started the Doctor of Thugonomics gimmick. It's like right when he started rapping on TV, and so he was wearing like plain black boots, and he had a Star Wars hat on, I think, that said Jedi on it or something like that, and it wasn't a Word Life hat like you're seeing here in this visor. It's still the accurate shorts and shirt, which is pretty cool. It's a deep cut. It's something I didn't think we'd ever see, and it's definitely a fix-up we'll make on surgery. I'll make it look accurate, things like that, but you do kind of get that prototype-looking Cena while maintaining the shirt and shorts combination there to put on other figures. So that's definitely some surgery stuff that we're going to have to work on, but it's still a pretty cool set nonetheless, or a cool figure to include here. It's a deep cut. I never thought we'd ever see that gear. So that is pretty cool. They're trying to get the most out of it. And discussing the torso, we have a new head sculpt here and a new torso here across these three figures. They're all three going to have the same torso. I think this is pretty smart. I'm kind of worried about something, which we'll get into when we get into the middle figure. But this far left figure we're talking about in the yellow trunks and stuff, it's a repaint of the prototype or the redo. And it's even an upgrade from the vault, because I'm pretty sure the From the Vault had the old torso. So we're getting the brand new torso with the new formula here with that prototype look. And you even have kind of you could use this head sculpt as a heel Cena. I like the pissed off look. Maybe they're looking into making more Ruthless Aggression or Doctor of Thugonomics Cenas. But to me, this doesn't look like a young Cena, and neither does the 04 version, which is really what's disappointing. And it goes hand in hand with that San Diego Comic-Con exclusive that we were talking about, the one that we think is going to be the Comic-Con exclusive, that champ is here, WWE Championship t-shirt, what we all assume is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Ultimate Edition. I really want to see new head sculpts from Cena, and preferably young Cena with the right haircut and stuff like that, and I feel like this set fails to provide that as well. But I do like the new torso. It kind of looks like his older one, but it's a little bit different here with the chisel in the chest and stuff. I think it looks really good. I'm excited for that part of it. When you go into the middle version, the 04 version here, this is a gear I've wanted forever from Mattel officially. We're finally getting it here. And you'll notice in the pack, a lot of people are, talking about how the U.S. Championship has the modern WWE logo, but I'm pretty sure that title is supposed to go with the teal version of Cena here instead of the camo version, because the camo version does come with the U.S. Spinner title from Mattel, which I think is a little too small, but I digress. The big problem I have with this 04 Cena is just that it's pretty much an updated version of the defining moment Cena from back in the day. So not the Draft Lottery 05 version with the orange jersey. I'm talking about the second version, the Word Life version, because it is that figure, but it's going to have the new shoe mold, the new R-Truth John Cena shoe mold. It's going to have the pinless technology. It's going to have double jointed arms. It's going to have have the new Cena torso and stuff like that. However, they gave it the same hat. They gave it the same chain. They gave it the same knucks. They painted on the wristbands, which is probably my biggest gripe about it, because I really wanted those Word Life wristbands in sculpted figure form, how they've done the updated Cenas for a few years now. I think the sculpted removable bands just add so much detail to the figure, and it makes it stand out a lot better. So those are some of my gripes there. I think the head sculpt's still kind of but I guess they wanted 3 different head sculpts here, but I think the far left, like that pissed off version, would have worked well in this figure better than that. And I guarantee you, man, we're gonna get this formula for Cena across all 3 of these formulas a few different times, and not just in this 3-pack. I just think this is where it's kind of starting for us here. But I'm still looking forward to that in terms of everything. But let's move on to the last Cena here in the pack. It is the more modern, or the closest one, even though it's from 10 years ago, which actually makes me want to vomit. But, you know, we have seen this attire in some ways. It is upgraded in some ways. If you look at the Elite 40 Cena, this is kind of a better version of that. More detail in the shoes. You're getting more detail in the sculpted on bands instead of painted. You're getting the smiley head sculpt, you know, redone hat with the new sculpt. You get the t-shirt that's non-Velcro in the teal color that we never saw. So this is pretty damn good. I like this set in some ways, but I think that there are some ways that it's lacking. But it's still a really cool thing as a big Cena guy. I've been waiting on a Cena 3-pack. I think this looks good, and I'm excited for it. But just wanted to get all my details out there for this set specifically. But I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped for it in certain ways, and I can't wait to review this set, get it in hand, see how everything feels. But that looks pretty good to me. Let's move on to the next thing, which is going to be a couple Ultimate Editions, man. We have a couple Ultimate Editions here. We're going to look at the Monday Night Wars Ultimate Edition Scott Steiner. So you guys know that the Monday Night Wars figures are going to be Walmart exclusive. So this Scott Steiner, we saw this on display at WrestleMania as well. But again, we're getting the promo images. So you guys know that usually when we get promo images, what does that mean? That means that more than likely within the next month or so, I would say before Comic-Con, these figures should be on shelves. I'm going to say that. I'm going to take a leap of faith there and say that is going to be the case. Before we even get to Comic-Con, we should have these figures in hand, hopefully, and if not, probably right thereafter, so we'll see. But Scott Steiner here looking pretty good. We did see this on display again. I really like the straitjacket. We really didn't get any good images of the straitjacket before. I don't even think they had a prototype of it at Mania. So getting this here looks pretty good. It looks like the sleeves can be ripped off, which I think is awesome, you know, so you get that moment there, which is really cool. I think Scott Steiner's looking pretty jacked. Very unique arms and torso for the guy. You know, you get that new big gold sculpt, which we all love. I know that everybody's going to be over the moon about getting a big Papa Pump Ultimate Edition. You know, we haven't really seen a Scott Steiner Ultimate since the 2-pack from Ringside, and then the canceled, failed Nitro crowdfunding stage project that makes me sad every day. So that is a whole deal there, but Big Papa Pump looking pretty good right here. I think this is, I mean, when you think, if you were to think in your brain Ultimate Edition Scott Steiner, I feel like they delivered here for the most part, you know? Even though I feel like the kind of mouth open head sculpt and the yelling head sculpt look very, very similar, I still like the figure, and I can't wait to find this one, review it, get it in hand. It looks like it's probably going to be pretty posable as well. Can't wait to see how it all turns out. But I do like the Big Papa Pump. I like the straitjacket too. I can see some creativity coming out with some different people depending on what you want there. But we have another Ultimate Edition, and it's going to be the Fan Takeover Randy Keith. We got Randall Keith here with the Evolution t-shirt. This is going to be a pretty cool one in terms of certain things. So if you take the first Elite WWE Fan Takeover Randy Orton, it was this exact gear, and now we're getting it in Fan Takeover Ultimate Edition form. So you take that old Elite and you're upgrading it to Ultimate Edition form, and this is what you get. You get a Evolution shirt, which is pretty good. You get the Oval Intercontinental Championship, which is my personal favorite version of the championship. I'm interested in, you know, what everything's going to look like here. You know, I don't know. I like the Ultimate Edition Randy, like the first one, because of how posable it is. I wish we could have gotten some newer head sculpts here instead of some reuse, right? So the smiling, gritting head sculpt is going to be from that 3-pack, that Evolution 3-pack, that Target exclusive set. And then the kind of scared, you know, sort of making an expression face where, you know, Triple H puts his thumb down. They're including both of those head sculpts from that Evolution 3-pack. So that's, you're not getting a ton of new here in terms of certain things. Like the formula is going to be the same. We are getting a new Evolution shirt, but everything else we've kind of seen before. It's a repainted Ultimate Edition Randy Orton, which I do love. This is one of my favorite eras of Orton. I love this gear too. It's one of my favorite gears. And I think even making a modern version with his other Ultimate, like mixing the two together, would be a really fun project as well. I look forward to this figure, but it's not earth-shattering, you know what I mean? I think it's still going to be a solid figure and everything, and I'm looking forward to it. Randy Orton's one of my all-time favorites, so I'm much looking forward to it in that aspect, but at the same time, I can see where this could be a pass for some people. I don't know, but I don't know. It's an Ultimate Edition Young Orton, so I think people are going to be excited for it. You can let me know what you think, but yeah, I do like this figure. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm interested to get it in hand and see if it is comparable with his older version. You know what I'm saying? And it looks like it's going to be the exact same. And funny enough, the neutral head sculpt that they're using here is pretty much the exact same head that came on the Elite Fan Takeover. So, I mean, you are pretty much just kind of waving the magic wand and updating the Elite Fan Takeover figure into this right here. But let's move on to WWE Elite Series 119 is what we're looking at here. And we have the full set here. We have the full set, including the Collector's Edition. We're going to go one by one through the figures here and give you the breakdown. So the first figure we have here is going to be Dirty Dom Mysterio. And this looks like it's probably going to be his best figure to date. I know that, you know, we do have the Ultimate Edition, but you are getting, you know, the facial hair. I think that the likeness is a little weird here. It's not my favorite likeness of all time, but I do like the gear. I think the gear looks cool with the purple rib cage. They are giving him the Cody Rhodes boots. You know, they're very oversized and everything. They don't look as bad here as they do on the Cody Rhodes, and you know, they also put those boots on Jacob Fatu. I'm just hoping that everything's posable here, but you do get the sculpted tassels on the sides. I mean, I like a lot of aspects of this figure. I may darken up the mustache a little bit there just to kind of bring it together, but you get the entrance vest, you get the shirts wrapping around, or the shirt wrapped around his waist. There's a lot of toyetic design going into this Dom figure. I think this could be a really good figure, but you see how on the packaging his mustache is a lot darker? I think that would help the figure and make it stand out more if we darkened up the stash. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do there on surgery, but I do like this figure, and I think that it should be fine. I just hope he's posable and stuff like that. It kind of concerns me with, you know, pinless technology, combine it with those Cody Rhodes boots, it could get kind of wish-washy, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's move on to Liv Morgan now, and Liv Morgan, you know, partner of Dom here in Elite Series 119. I don't know, man. I don't know what is going on with Liv here. I do like the figure from the neck down. I think that the gear's solid. The black and white, I always love black and white attires. I think they look clean. You know, you get the Dirty Dom shirt, which is kind of a moment in time, right? You're kind of going to be locked in there, but I think it's fine. I think that's completely fine. I don't think people are going to have a big problem with that. You do get the Women's Championship. I think that Liv Morgan, has she become the modern day Becky Lynch? You know, for a while there, man, they could not get Becky Lynch's head sculpt right. For whatever reason, everything they tried just wasn't working. I don't really care for this head sculpt. I've never really loved any of the Liv Morgan head sculpts. It just seems like they cannot nail the likeness of Liv Morgan for whatever reason. And I think that this one is on par with that again. I don't see Liv Morgan here. It looks like, I don't know if it's like a lack of the makeup, or maybe if you, I know it'd be crazy, but if you painted some lipstick or some eye makeup or something on this figure, maybe it would resemble her more. But I think that there's just some hits and misses with the women's figures. It either looks identical to them or it looks nothing like them. And I don't know. I think this resembles Liv a little, but maybe it's the hairline or something. Something is off. Maybe it's like a short forehead. There's something here that is throwing me off completely with the figure, and maybe we could figure that out together. But it's still a cool Liv Morgan from the neck down. I just wish that they would get the head sculpt right, because I feel like the head sculpt is probably the most important part of a figure. It's definitely up there, right? I mean, it's gotta look like the character, or what are we doing, you know what I mean? But let's move on to Braun Breaker here in the Zebra. This figure looks phenomenal. I really like the new spray tan look they have for him. You know, we kind of touched on this back when they revealed this figure, but this is going to be his third skin tone, I'm pretty sure, because I think that his second figure, his Elite 104 figure, was a certain skin tone. Then his later figure had a different skin tone. Like, I think his first Elite, the Elite 104, had the Seth Rollins skin tone. Then with his next figure in the, you know, in the Mad Dog, or the, you know, the black attire, I think they went with the Finn Balor skin tone. And now with this figure, you're getting a new skin tone. So 3 different Brauns, 3 different skin tones. I know that annoys people. Now you can't put that yelling head sculpt on other Braun figures because the skin tones aren't going to match. So that's just kind of one of those ticky-tack things that is very annoying, especially with these figures. So I guess that, I don't know what the deal was. I think when his second figure came out, they were kind of, you know, the boot mold had changed, and they were switching factories, and they were in the middle of different stuff. So maybe that's the problem with that, and so it kind of got lost in translation. But I do like this figure a lot. IC title looks good. Head sculpt looks great. Skin tone looks great. I'm digging the gear. This is a great gear to pick. So I'm looking forward to this Braun figure. I just know that some of those other aspects are kind of annoying, but come to think of it, I could see them doing an Ultimate Braun Breaker or an Ultimate Liv Morgan, and maybe when we get those, we'll finally get all those things that kind of work cohesively between the head sculpts and stuff. So we'll see what comes of that. But we also have the Dexter Lumis figure in Elite 119, and this one just looks crazy, man. I really, really dig this figure. I hope that it is not stiff in any way. The legs, you guys know that for whatever reason, man, when they make jean legs that are pinless, they're always super stiff. I don't know if it's because of the thickness of the plastic. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully this figure will not be stiff because it looks really damn good. When you look at the attention to detail on his tattoos and the dirt on the pants and the sculpt on the pants and the eyes and the head sculpt overall in the mask. I mean, this figure looks insane. This could be, I know that we talk about this sometimes, man, but this could potentially be one of the top elites of the year. And I think that is definitely a statement that I stand by. I mean, again, this is all potential here, but I think this guy's going to be pretty good. He looks very toyetic. You have a lot of great things going on with him, and I look forward to it. So we'll see. The new hand sculpts here on these gloves, they look a bit weird plugged into the arms. You seeing this? It looks like the hands are a little oversized or something. They look just weird to me. I don't know what it is, but the proportions are kind of weird. And it may just be the photo angle or whatever, but I'm looking forward to this Dexter Lumis a lot. I think this is the perfect start to completing our Y at 6, and I think that this looks pretty damn sweet. So I'm looking forward to the Dexter Lumis. And then we also have a look at Ethan Page here. We have the regular edition and the chase. I want to say the regular edition is in the gold and then the chase is in the red, but I could completely be wrong. I could have that mix matched. I could have that mixed up. It could be the complete opposite there, so we'll see. But this figure does look really good. I like the head sculpt. The formula's pretty damn perfect. You know, he's not cheesing, but this is money. This looks just like Ethan Page. I can't wait for this figure. I've been a big fan of the guy for a while. Enjoyed his toy hunts and vlogs and stuff, so I'm most definitely getting the Ethan Page figure and can't wait to review this and get this in the collection. And I think it's safe to say this is probably going to be better than his AEW figure, but I did enjoy his AEW figure for what it was. I think the formula here is going to be better and more user-friendly and stuff, so we'll see. But Ethan Page is looking pretty damn good in both versions. And the last figure in this set is going to be the Collector's Edition John Cena in the blue. So this is the figure that Ethan Page accidentally leaked and released the rest of the lineup here that we're getting here with this Cena. And I want to say this is his Raw on Netflix debut, right? Where, the last time is down the blue and white. Pretty damn clean, and he's rocked so, I had the goal of trying to get every Cena look ever right in figure form or elite figure form, and this man made this such a task now, because every single city that they're going to, he is getting in a new shirt and stuff. And I know Mattel will make some of them. They're not going to make all of them. There's so many new bands, new gears, new hats, new socks that this man has worn, and now he has made it pretty much impossible, and this last time is now tour here, but this figure does look good. I'm looking forward to it. It's essentially just a rehash of the farewell tour, WrestleMania store exclusive or whatever, the Walmart exclusive last time is now Cena, just repainted. That's what we're getting here, and I bet they'll probably do this 2 or 3 more times with different shirts and stuff, and that's fine. It's a fine figure. I like the shirt with no Velcro. I'm all aboard any Cena figures are going to do, and because it is the last time is now farewell tour, they're going to be pumping these out. But I do like this figure. Again, we saw this back at WrestleMania, but we do have updated shots of it. This will be, I think, I want to say, did they say this is coming to WWE Shop and Walmart? I'm not entirely sure, but I do believe that you're not only going to be able to pick this up in stores randomly where cases of Elite 119 are shipped. It'll either be Walmart or Target. I want to say it's Walmart, but I could be wrong there. But I think they also said this may pop up on WWE Shop, but hopefully it's available and easier to obtain rather than some of these other figures like the Clear Cena or the Elite 118. I don't think really, those figures haven't hit a ton of retail shelves yet, so I don't think it's fair to say how hard it's going to be to find them yet. But it's definitely worth noting that this is a collector's edition and stuff like that. But let's move things on to the Monday Night War series. I was wrong about something with this set, and we're going to get into it. Let's start things off with possibly the best figure in the set for me, and another figure of the year contender. We're getting into American Badass Undertaker here. This figure looked incredible at WrestleMania. It looks incredible in these photos. It's interesting to me that the denim vest is removable like some of these old entrance vests. I think that's an interesting take there. I guess it's possible they could have possibly tried to do it where the button for the shirt was on the front of the buttons, or like on the backside, so when you plugged it, you wouldn't have those peg looking things on the back of the figure. and when you wrapped the denim vest around and ported it in, you would get you'd get a clean look. You wouldn't have those outlines and stuff, but maybe it made it a bit puffy. I'm not sure. I'm sure they, went through those different design processes, but he does have that big singlet that we're seeing on the new Legends figure, so they're just taking, a new head sculpt here, putting it on that figure, adding the denim vest, but I love the trench coat and everything. This is a great looking figure. I love the bandana and the hair. I'm hoping they'll do some sort of new Reckon cycle to go with this figure, but we'll see. I'm sure there's somebody out there that has the perfect bike for this, but this is a fantastic figure. I can't wait to. And another thing is we don't really have a shot of it without the glasses on, but are the glasses even removable? I don't know. Maybe the glasses aren't removable. Maybe you can't remove the sunglasses. Maybe this is just a sunglasses on head sculpt, but it looks damn good. Even if you can't take the sunglasses off, I think it's still a money figure, and I'm looking forward to this a lot. And what's even crazier is in this set, you have another figure of the year potential because you have Brian Pillman that we also saw at not Comic-Con, but we did see it at WrestleMania, and this looks insane too. This figure is incredible. This is my favorite Brian Pillman they've made to date. You're getting those new sculpted legs here that are tucked into the shoes. I think that's brilliant. I like the denim patches that are going on the pants. It's really unique how you have the different denim pattern. You're getting the cloth goods. You're getting the vest over there, which does look to be a newly sculpted vest. We've never seen that vest before. They're adding new details. Head sculpt looks incredible. You're getting a nice formula here. You're getting the crutch. This is a fantastic looking piece. I'm very much looking forward to this. I like the usage of the Austin Theory and the Tyler Bates style torso, which I think works fine for him. They've been giving him the Macho Man torso for a while there, so I think this is fine. I don't think it's a big deal that they changed it, but I'm looking forward to this leg mold. Again, it is going to be a jeans mold. Is it going to be posable? Is it going to be really stiff out of the packaging? That's something we'll have to learn there, but this is another figure of the year potential contender here. I think this is a great looking figure, but one of the things I wanted to say with this set is I thought for sure that the Eric Bischoff was the Build-A-Figure here, but he is not the Build-A-Figure. He is in the set himself, so you get this suited body with the white sort of undershirt in the line. So this actually is huge for a lot of different reasons, and I'll explain why this is. He does have Muhammad Ali legs, which makes me want to vomit in the floor, but I think it's big because you can make a suited body figure here in the line. Now you don't have to worry about building the, this Eric Bischoff. You have to build the Michael Kohl. Now that does kind of stink because I think the Michael Kohl is really awesome as well, and we'll get into that figure in a second, but this Eric Bischoff looks pretty good. You're utilizing those Ultimate Edition heads with the gray hair. I think that's solid, but having the Muhammad Ali legs is just terrible, man. I can't stand it. I really wish we'd get away from these legs. I think the Elite 116 AJ Styles legs could work there, and they'd make him shorter, I'm sure, but I don't know. Like the Build-A-Figure legs for the Michael Kohl are the much more superior legs when it comes to posing and stuff. I know they're different legs for different pants types. I just can't stand the Muhammad Ali leg mold, as you guys know. But the Bischoff is fine. I just thought he was the Build-A-Figure. I thought for sure he was, but I was mistaken. But the last figure in the set is going to be the Shark, John Tenta here, and we have a regular edition, I think, with the shark fin graphic, and then I think the chase is in the blue. But I think both look really good, really toyetic. You're getting some looks that I never thought we'd ever see, so I think that's really awesome. You're getting the Shark there here in the Monday Night War set. Pretty cool gears overall. Back in the day, we did have the Target exclusive Shark John Tenta figure that, that figure I feel like was kind of hard to come by, so I know that a lot of people are going to be wanting this one, and the gear is different. So this is the third Shark Elite in the line, which is just insane to even think about. So we're getting a lot of, you get the same characters, but you're getting some attires and multiple copies of figures that I didn't think we'd really ever see. But I love the beard detail with the, the shark teeth and stuff. I think that's really awesome. But then we do have the Build-A-Figure, which is going to be the Michael Kohl here, which this is a look of Michael Kohl, and I touched on this again at Mania, but this is a look of Michael Kohl that I've been wanting in the line for a very long time. Similar to Jim Ross, I would really love them to get, if he ever signed a Legends deal or something like that, which I hope he does one day, but I love this, the sculpted shirt with the button down. That is something I would love to see as a Jim Ross, but I do like this young Michael Kohl. Head sculpt's a bit this is the second Elite Michael Kohl we've gotten, and I think the likeness on the older version looks better than the likeness on this younger version. I'm not a big fan of this head sculpt in terms of the likeness to Michael Kohl, but I still like the figure overall. I think it's a really good figure. You get the, the headset on there, which, is a bit big. It doesn't sit quite right in my opinion, but I think even a head sculpt that, had the headphones sculpted on there probably would work good. But this is a figure I've wanted for a very long time. I think a lot of collectors have wanted this for their displays. Put one of the Jack's WWF microphones in his hand, man. This is going to look really, really clean. And you could easily get a WWF decal for the shirt if you wanted to. But this is a sweet Michael Kohl. But there's the full Monday Night War set. Lots of greatness in this set. I'm expecting good things out of it. Hopefully I can find it. Ha! Yeah, right. But seriously, though, I do like the set, and I'm looking forward to a lot of figures in the set. But we also have some Superstars figures, and a Superstar figure that I've been waiting on for a very long time. We finally have Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Superstar set, and I hate to say it, man, but I don't know if I like it. I really don't like it. I don't think I like this figure that much. I don't necessarily like this Stone Cold. I'm not a big fan of the head sculpt. I think that, there's no cloth goods here, which is kind of bummy. I think doing a cloth vest would have been cool, to experiment with that. They did go with the molded one, or even any of his shirts. They've been putting these shirts in the line, right? Like, even in the George the Animal Steel figure with this, the Jake the Snake, the different figures that we've gotten in these sets, they have had cloth goods, but on the Stone Cold, they didn't give him cloth shorts. They didn't give him a cloth vest. They didn't give him any of his cloth shirts that he's worn over the years. They could have done so many different shirts, and they decided not to. So, and it's not in wrestling gear, so I don't know. I don't really like this Austin, and we waited a very long time on this Austin, and I don't know if I'm gonna pick this up. As crazy as that is, and I really want to. I've kind of limited down my Superstars collection to just a couple, and I don't know if this is going to make the cut. And as much as I love Austin, as much as, he's one of my goats, he's one of my favorites ever, I just don't particularly like it. Maybe, I guess I could buy it and fix it up my own way, but I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed in this one. But we also have Ultimate Warrior. I like the Intercontinental Championship with the red logo, looks good. I do like this Ultimate Warrior. I think it's pretty toyetic, but again, he doesn't come with cloth goods either, man. What's up with that? I feel like a lot of people like the cloth goods and the stuff that comes in these waves. So if you're a big Superstars collector, I'd like to know down below what you think of this Ultimate Warrior and Stone Cold not coming with any cloth goods. But if you fast forward, the last two in the set are going to come with cloth goods. You have the I'm an Animal Lover with George the Animal Steel, which looks great. This is a great animal figure, man. Look at the head sculpt. You got the hair, you got the t-shirt, you got a lot of great things going on there with the figure. But then the last figure in the set is going to be Volkov, and Volkov also comes with cloth goods. So I don't really know what is going on there in this line. I don't know if you guys can let me know what you think of everything, but I think not having cloth goods with the Superstars figures after you've set a precedent of coming with cloth goods, I think people are going to be kind of bothered by that. I think people really like the cloth goods in this set, but I think Volkov turned out pretty damn good as well. And overall, it's a solid set. I don't know. I'm disappointed in the Austin. You can let me know what you think of that full Superstars wave there. But the last thing we're taking a look at here is going to be this little like Kohl's or Ross set here, which is going to be 3 basic figures. So in this set, we are getting a Cody Rhodes, a Jey Uso, and a Seth Rollins. And we already know these are... these are pretty cool sets. I'm not going to lie to you. You get like 3 repurposed basics. You get 3 big-time talents all packed together. So I think these, I don't know what these retail for, but if they retail for $29.99 or $24.99, that'd be a fantastic deal. You could get 3 basics like this. They look good mint on card. They are just plain basics that you could play with for kids. This is a solid set. It's nothing to write home about. I don't think it's like the, just earth-shattering. But you're getting that promo gear Cody. You're getting kind of a throwback Jey Uso. It's kind of an older look for Jey Uso with the We The Ones, and then you're getting Seth Rollins. So you get 3 big guys there. You could team them up together or do whatever you want there, but I think that's a pretty cool little, Ross set or Kohl's sort of Sears. I feel like they sell them at Sears too, but that is every single figure here. Now, I know a lot of this stuff we pretty much already knew about, and I think everything here we already knew about or we had seen previously, but these are all updated images and promo galleries of them and promotional material, so this means that these figures should be in our hands relatively soon, man. I would imagine before Comic-Con. Like I said, we're looking at a month and a half until Comic-Con, and I imagine that means that these figures should be in our hands right around that time or shortly before. So if you guys are looking forward to any of this, you should have them in your hands very, very soon. But that is pretty much going to wrap up today's news video. I hope you guys did enjoy. I'd love to know all of your thoughts on all this stuff down in the comment section below. What are you most looking forward to? What's a hit? What's a miss for you? I'd like to know all those things. But Comic-Con is approaching. We have lots of things to be excited about. The crowdfund project, different things. At Comic-Con, they're going to reveal an absolute ton of stuff and everything like that, man. But that is going to wrap it up. A huge shout out to our Patreon members, of course. Thank you guys so very much for your support as always. You guys are unbelievable. But that is going to wrap it up for me today, man. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll see you guys next time. Have a blessed one, and I'll catch you guys later.